Hi, and welcome to the Stress Less Summit. I'm your host, Eleni Vardaki, and I've organized this summit because it upsets me when I see girls and young women experiencing so much stress in their life when there is a better way. And so I've brought together experts from all over the world who care about this issue to share their specialist advice and insights with you. And today, I'm talking with Nadia Georgiou, who's here to talk to you about living life on your terms. Nadia is a life coach who loves working with women who want to make changes in their lives, as well as children of all ages. And you can find her at itsmylife.pr. So Nadia, welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview.
Thank you, Eleni. I'm very excited to be with you at the summit.
Nadia, do you want to tell our audience here, what is it that led you into life coaching?
My career was not always in life coaching. I was working as a PR and communications specialist around the world. And one day I found myself in a meeting room with my partner, and sitting across from me was the CEO of the company and his number two. And we were talking obviously for something serious. And I was looking outside the window. And all of a sudden I asked myself, well, what am I doing here? That's really not of interest to me. And at that time I realized, A, that's not fair to my client, and most importantly, B, that's not fair to me, because I didn't really want to do what I had been doing for more than 25 years. So that was an aha, as we call it, moment. And that made me switch careers. I looked around, I started doing a lot of personal development courses, taking courses. I took lots of energy practices like pranic healing and body mirror system healing and lots of different things. And one time I started reading about life coaching and I realized, well, this is what I wanted to do. So I found a life coach that I hired and I went and did my sessions to see if this would really work. And it did work and I liked it. And then I wanted to find a school to go to. I did a program at the Athens University, which was fine, but it was really a basic program. And looking through the different schools, universities that I could attend, a friend of mine and a colleague suggested the Tony Robbins and Chloe Madanes Institute. Now, Tony Robbins is this huge guru. He's the top life coach in the world. He's a master in negotiation, in personal transformation, in business. I mean, he's really accredited from Harvard, from lots of different schools and books and stuff. And at the beginning, when I looked at some of his videos, I wasn't thrilled, to be honest. I thought, well, this guy is way too American for me, though I am Greek American. But as I kept on reading his books, listening to his audios and watching his videos, I really got into what the guy was saying. And I decided to go and study at his school. And it's something that I would highly recommend to whoever wants to deal with life coaching, whether it's as a profession or for their own personal life. It's an amazing school and you get tons of wonderful information. And there I am doing life coaching.
But what is life coaching is another question that I think sometimes people ask, and I know I first was wondering when I first heard of that. Is it just like all positive thinking?
Oh, it's a good question. I'll tell you what it's not. It's not positive thinking. Because when you see something wrong, something that you don't like, something that bothers you, it wouldn't make any sense to just say, oh, it's not like this, it's nice. Put it in a pink cloud and just assume everything works okay. No, that's not the case. The reality is there is something that is wrong and something that you need to change. So what do you need to do about it? How do you handle it? So life coaching is not positive. Life coaching is really a process, a way to find out what it is that you want or you don't want in your life, with priorities, and really bring the results that you want based on your own personal needs. And it's really, I would say, an ongoing trip. It's a life trip. You know, once you start, you just keep on going because you like it so much, because you bring the results you want, because you live a life. So this is life coaching. And if I can make a distinction between strategic intervention, because that's what I do. I do strategic intervention coaching. Really what differentiates it is the belief that when human needs are met, are satisfied, and are uplifted, then you can bring the results you want, and you can find solutions to whatever it is that bothers you. So that's really what's life coaching.
So it sounds to me like it's a solution-focused approach where you're focusing not just on the problem and not just sugarcoating the problem or as you said, putting it in, seeing it through rosy tinted glasses, but actually saying, okay, accepting there is a problem and then taking responsibility and ownership to do something about it and say, I want to change my life. Even if that means I don't know how, but I want support in how to figure out what it is that I want to start with and how to change my life.
Yes, it's exactly as you say it. Well, life coaching starts from where you are today and focuses on where you want to go. We don't go into the past. Yes, we do look into the past, but we don't stay there. We start from today. Am I happy today? Am I where I want to be? Am I doing what I want to be doing? Do I have the life I want? And we take it from there. Let's assume that there's something you want to do in your life, whether it's small or big, like maybe visiting a friend that you haven't seen in years and you keep on postponing, or learning I don't know, guitar, or achieving a business goal, whatever. Now, this person that has this goal will not go to psychologists because there's nothing wrong with them. And by the way, life coaching deals with healthy people. So this person, what would really want to do is go to a specialist who can help them fine-tune their objective, their goal, find the strategies and put the steps online so that they can achieve what it is that they want in a specific amount of time, because that's important as well, and being happy during the process. The life coach would help you also, A, make sure you're on track on a weekly basis, and B, handle all the challenges that will come your way. Because once we decide to do something, sure enough, we face challenges. And that's usually the case when we say, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. So maybe I should stop here. Maybe this is not for me. Because we're not sure we're going to face the challenges because we're afraid of the challenges. So the life coach will help you deal with the challenges, handle them, and get on with your program so that you can achieve your goal. It's really goal oriented. Or actually, what I really like is dream oriented. Because it's about your dreams, what you want to achieve. You know, what really life coaching does is help you decide what it is that you want to do and control your mind, because we let our mind control our lives. It should be the other way around. If you can learn with the right tools to control your mind and guide it where you want to go, then you're not going to have issues like anorexia, or how many times haven't you heard people saying, oh, I want to start going to the gym, or I want to lose weight, or I want to do this and that, and they start, but then a month, 2, 3 down the road, they stop because, well, I'm tired, I don't have the time, my friends stop going, whatever the excuse may be. If you can control your mind, you're not going to have these excuses, because really what you want to achieve is your dream. And this is what life coaching helps you to do.
And it sounds like it could also have a link to stress. I mean, what is stress, and how would that link into life coaching?
It's interesting because there was research done in the business world, and it was really focused on men, not women, although this is a conference for women. And I'm saying this because men don't use the word fear. Men use the word stress. They will never say I'm afraid. They will say I'm stressed. So really what stress is another word, is the achiever word for fear. And I find that extremely interesting. Okay.
That's fascinating. Yeah. And you've noticed a gender difference as well then?
Exactly. And really, what are our fears? There's 2 basic fears, regardless of age or education or cultural background or all of that stuff. Our number one fear is our fear that we're not good enough for whatever it is. Like, I'm not tall enough, I'm not healthy enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not successful enough, I'm not whatever enough. That's our number one fear. And our number two fear is, because I'm not good enough in whatever area, I'm not going to be loved.
Mm.
And these are our two major fears. And these are the reasons why we do the things we do and we make the decisions we make. But if we can break these fears, and they're all up here, and we can switch our mind in a heartbeat, really, in a heartbeat, then our life is completely different.
And talking about, changing our lives, what is it that, are there any cultural barriers that young women have to face today that they have to overcome?
Great question, because today we live in a world that we assume this is not the case. Well, in my experience, it is the case. It doesn't matter where you live. I currently live in Greece, but I know that this happens all over the world, even in states, in the United States. When we grow up as little girls, we are taught to be nice, to be sweet, to be tender, to serve, to give, not receive, to not shout, to not use bad words, to not raise our voice. Yes, we should go to school, go to university, do X, Y, Z, but we should also become wives and mothers. Otherwise, we've failed. And even when we are wives and or mothers, we should have everything ready, everything clean, everything neat, and we should also be nicely dressed with our makeup on and everything, and look like it was so easy to do it. We didn't sweat, it was amazingly easy. Well, this is not right, and this is not the case. It takes a lot of work to keep up with a house, with a family, with a kid, or whatever, and we need to pretend like none of this is happening, and we're very nice and sweet. And we have not, again, I will say this, we have not learned to receive, but we are givers, and women are givers. This is our nature. But this doesn't mean that we cannot do the same things that a man can do. And having said that, when a boy grows up, he's taught to not cry, to show emotions, to be strong, to be fearful. So look at the differences that we grow up with. So yes, there are cultural barriers in our life, and we don't have to accept them. It's up to us to take the responsibility for our life. Our parents told us what they knew, what they thought was better for us, and they're all stopped at some point. And we cannot keep on blaming parents for whatever has happened in the past. What our parents did, thought, and showed us really made us who today. So if we take that as our asset, then we can take control of our life, take responsibility for our life, and we can draw, design, create our own life.
I love that you mentioned this point about how to relationships with parents, because I think that often there's this approach of blaming the parents or blaming someone out there, the government authority for one's life or where you're at. Whereas what you're saying is actually appreciate what people have done for you, appreciate what your parents have done for you. They're human beings. They were doing their best, as they knew that what they they're doing their best at the time based on what they knew and how they felt was the best way to move forward. And from there on, it's your responsibility to, it's your life, it's your responsibility to now take responsibility and create the life that you want and the life of your dreams.
Absolutely. It's our responsibility. Instead of blaming other people, whether the past or in our future, it's our responsibility to take our life in our hands. And you mentioned something before about appreciation. One tip, if I can give to your audience, is we would be so much happier in our lives if we would change the word expectations for appreciation. Instead of expecting something from somebody, let's appreciate what we have, what this person has given us, and move on. Let's say you have an argument with your friend, okay? You're going out, and he or she it's not very happy about something, and you get all upset and all whatever. What if at this moment, instead of looking at the negative side of things, try to see what is the lesson you have to learn. Yes, you don't like the situation, maybe you don't like how your friend behaved or whatever, but what is the lesson for you to learn? Appreciate this as an opportunity to grow inside.
I love that, and that's the growth mindset, which is absolutely crucial for creating the life that you want and taking responsibility for your life.
Yes.
So, what would working with you? I'm curious to find out. If someone wanted to work with you, what would that look like?
Well, you'd have to ask my clients about what they think. But I'll tell you how I work. I have a motto which I really love, and that's D plus D plus E equals UP, up. What do these letters stand for? The first D stands for decisiveness. Decisions are not always easy to make, small or big, and a lot of times we find that we procrastinate and we don't decide and we don't decide. And when we don't decide, we just keep on staying where we are. There's no progress. We are afraid we'll make the wrong decision. And what will happen if we make the wrong decision? Well, we will not be good enough, as we said, and we will not be loved. We will not be included in whatever it is we want to go. So once we decide decisiveness, the second D is discipline. That's very important. Let's assume you go to the gym and you want to work out your abdominals. Okay, if you go once, you're not going to have the best muscles in the world. You have to keep on going, have the discipline to go and be committed. And that's exactly the same thing. You decide on doing something, you take a decision, whatever it is in your life. Unless you continue with it, you're committed with it, you have the discipline, you're not going to go for it. And then the third element, E, is amazingly important, stands for enthusiasm. Because if you do what you're doing and you're not happy in your everyday life, you're not going to continue. You're not going to bring the results you want. You want your trip to be a happy one, to be something that you're really passionate about, that you love doing. Otherwise, you're never going to do it. And so if you have decisiveness, if you make the decisions, if you have the discipline and the enthusiasm, what this equals is to unlimited power. That's UP. And when somebody releases their unlimited power, they can do magic. They can do anything they want. So that's my motto. That's how I really love working. What I do is I work with my clients as a coach with an athlete. I am their trusted partner. I hold their hand throughout the way. We decide together what it is they want to do and what it is where it is they want to go. And I'm there to design with them the steps, make sure they follow, make sure they're enthusiastic about it, and make sure they achieve the result in a specific amount of time. Because you also want to put a time frame in whatever it is that you want to do. You don't want to live it unlimited. Otherwise, again, you will not go for it. I will push you if I have to, but very discreetly, and I will also support you where you need to. But I will be there for you to create what it is that you want, to give you the right tools that are right for you, and so that you learn the techniques that you can use them for the rest of your life. Usually, research has found that 12 hourly sessions are good enough to get the result that you want. Of course, this depends on the person, and this depends on the state of their life they are at the time they start work. It can be 3 sessions, it can be 20 sessions, you never know. But there's an assessment session, and then we take it from there.
Thank you so much for sharing that explanation, Nadia, because I think a lot of people are often in the dark. What is life coaching? It sounds like this woo, always cheerleading thing. So that, I think, really clarifies that misty kind of understanding of life coaching. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Well, I have one last thing, and I'm very excited about it. What I created for your audience, Eleni, is the first 20 people that sign up for my newsletter will have a 20-minute life coaching session with me for free. Gratis. Now, that will be a great opportunity to get to know life coaching, see how it works, see how I work, see maybe where they want to go, and think about how they want to invest in the quality of their life. And by quality, different people mean different things. I want to quote here a well-known author. He's an international best-selling author, and he's also a history professor at I think the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. He wrote the bestseller Sapiens, and in there he has a question. And I think this is a key question. The question is, what if we change what we want to become with what we want to want? Think about it. What we want to become or what we want to want. How many of us ask ourselves, what do we want to want? How many of us even think about what it is they want to want? You know, usually we go with the flow because there's pressure, there's the situation, there's this person, my mother, my father, my husband, whoever, okay? If we just step back and just be in our center and think about this, well, now we're talking about quality of life. So I'm very excited because, first of all, I love meeting people from all over the world. So I'm thrilled because I'm going to meet those 20 daring people from your audience, and they know who they are. You girls know who you are. And I'll have a wonderful time working with them, and they'll have a great opportunity to see how it feels to bring results by using the right tools.
Wow, thank you so much for your generosity. That is a beautiful gift, and I definitely, you know, encourage people to take that up, because it's something that once you make that first step, often it's the first step that's, you know, where we're stuck in our fear, then you know, the forward motion that you want to take in changing your life, if you're at a stage in your life where you feel ready for that, it then, you know, one step leads to another.
Yes, it is a great start. From my personal experience, it's a wonderful start, and it's a wonderful treat. But I also want to thank you for inviting me in this summit and for this wonderful opportunity of talking with you and your audience.
My pleasure, it's my pleasure. So, and thank you to all of you who are watching this, and good on you for tuning in to learn how you can create a better life for yourself. And remember to keep your eye out for more Stress Less Summit emails to enjoy more great advice just like this. Take care.